Alright, so hey guys, today we're going to be going through the video I promised for a couple of days now, my Elemental Ward Saryn. This build can help you with survivability, energy consumption, tankiness, and DPS in some ways, and I want to share it with you right now in this video. So without further ado, let's get into the first ability. So for the first ability, we have Spores. Spores is a crowd control DPS ability that when channeled properly can eliminate crowds of enemies in seconds. Take this in. Spores, when casted on a target, will inflict corrosive damage. When killing that target, or with the third ability, hitting the target, it will pop a spore, and any enemies within the radius of that spore's spread range will be infected with spores. Now, this means that with the more enemies affected by spores, the more damage per second we get and the more total damage we get. There is no cap for spores damage. It is infinitely scaling. The only problem is that once it reaches a certain amount of damage point, you can literally one-shot no matter what level. So this means that to keep spores up, you need to know when to kill enemies and where to kill them, in groups, not just in the middle of nowhere. But with that out the way, we also have the Augment. The Augment will give added corrosive damage to the player and will actually work well in the build synergy itself, so stay tuned for that. But up next we have the Helminth inspired ability Elemental Ward. We took Molt out and replaced it with Elemental Ward for the tankiness with the Cold Emissive color for armor. So up next, like I said, we have Elemental Ward. This ability was originally on Chroma, but we kinda ate Chroma and put this on Saryn. So Elemental Ward Cold Edition will first of all give you increased armor for the Warframe. Armor gives you damage reduction, but only on health, so remember that. So with this increased armor, also, there is a multiplier. Because whenever somebody shoots you with Elemental Ward active, you will have their damage brought back to them. It's not damage redirection by in the way that you won't take that damage. You'll still take the damage, it's just the damage you took, the enemy will feel it too. But from there, the multiplier, which on this build is 6.51 times, will increase the damage and redirect it to the enemies. This can take all damage increase sources. So this means that Elemental Ward can take the corrosive damage increase and the toxin damage increase, allowing for more DPS towards the enemy that is taking the damage. Alright, so now that we have that ability covered, let's get into the third ability. Alright, so for her third ability we have Toxic Lash. Toxic Lash is the best ability when it comes to Saryn, when it comes to spreading spores, and if you want that damage increase, this ability actually gives a increased status chance and toxin damage. So in a way, this ability is somewhat overpowered to Elemental Ward. It can also give you the ability to pop spores instantly with only one hit of the target, allowing for spores to pop way easier. And the same thing applies to Elemental Ward. So this is why you see all the targets just instantly spreading spores before I even kill them. Once enemies actually shoot me and I have Toxic Lash on, if they have spores on, it will redirect spores to any enemies in the vicinity. That is why Elemental Ward is somewhat so overpowered in my opinion. So if you're looking for a tanky slash max DPS, in some ways this ability works. So yeah, now let's get into the last ability. So her last ability is called Miasma. Miasma will give you a kind of effect on the spores. First of all, when proccing Miasma, all enemies in the area will be affected by viral, and their spores damage will be multiplied by 4 times. This allows for the spores to just annihilate enemies when they're at high enough levels. So if you're at 8,000 spores damage and you cast Miasma, make sure there's other enemies around, because depending on how this goes, Miasma will completely one-shot them. So yeah, Miasma is a great way of spreading spores and keeping enemies down and crowd controlled. It will blind them for a duration, and with viral on the target, increase all damage sources. So that's a great thing to know. So now we're going to get into the build, and with that, we're going to show a little bit more detail, because I know that it's not too easy to understand it. Alright, so for the build, we have Rejuvenation for the health back per second. Then we have Stretch for the range, Rage for the energy back when we take damage towards our health. Then we have Continuity for the duration, because keeping your duration up is a good thing. Then we have Vitality for the health, because depending on how this goes, you can literally get one-shotted by a bombard rocket, so you might want some health. Quick thinking, so that when we get to 2 HP, we do not die, but rather it drains our energy. And then we have Umbrella Intensify and Blind Rage for the power strength. Then we have Venom Dose for the corrosive damage, which will increase our elemental ward damage. Same thing with Toxic Lash. So now we have the Legion build. The Legion build is quite interesting. We have Condition Overload for the damage per element on the target, and my Ribbon really just has crit chance, and cold damage. Then we have Drifting Contact for the combo duration. We have Primed, Smite Corrupted, but if you put it on Grenier like what was on the video, then you get the full effect. Because remember, it is 3 times for physicals and 2 times for viral. So then we have Blood Rush for the crit chance per combo multiplier, Healing Return for the health back per status effect on the target. Then we have Weeping Wounds for the status chance, so that we proc more, and Berserker for the speed. So remember, when casting spores, holding it down, and then getting Toxic Lash, any targets with spores now, when they shoot your elemental ward, will then not only take a lot of damage, a lot more damage, they will also spread spores, so that you don't have to do all the hard work of hitting them. Also, it's a defensive type of ability, so it makes you tankier. And with all the elements that are going to be on the target, corrosive, cold, toxin, viral, you can literally heal you back up to like 100 or 100% HP in seconds. That's why you saw me surviving so easily in the build. And not only will it give it to your elemental ward, it'll give it to your melee. So your melee will be doing so much more damage. And through all this, if your spores go high enough, you will be doing so much more DPS. So yeah guys, I hope you liked the video. If you want to see more, subscribe. Or stay tuned, put those notifications on. If you have any recommendations that you might want me to try, because don't be shy, put a little comment down in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next one. Now I will just leave you with the fashion frame.